Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Wasmatic, welcome to my channel. This is another build guide for Ghost Recon Wildlands. This build I'm going to call my full assault build. This build is primarily about getting in and amongst it, yes playing stealthily, but really ripping through the mobs, through the enemies, taking them down really quickly. It's about getting in, getting out, but killing everything along the way. So it's a really nice build. It's incredibly fun to play. I've been mucking around with this now for a couple of hours and I'm ripping through the game content really quickly. It's not so easy to do when you're playing on extreme level, but it does still work if you're a little bit more careful than I have been on some of the advanced gameplay that I've been playing. If you want some fun, you're not really looking for an immense challenge, but if you want some fun of running around and doing some insane killing, then this is definitely the build for you. Again, I start all of these videos off with a caveat that these builds are primarily focused to people who are starting out in the game and looking where to put some points. If you are already in the game and you've probably maxed out all of your skill points or not far off, this is just an interesting way to consider gameplay using some of the weapons in the game. As ever, at the start of the video, I'd like to say that if you find what I'm doing in these videos interesting, then please consider subscribing. It will really help the channel grow. So let's start off looking at I'm going to start off a little bit differently this time. I'm going to start off looking at the weapons because I'm actually using a sniper rifle to engage from range, quietly take out sentries or other snipers or lone enemies, guys who stood out on their own. I'm currently using the SR1. I'm just testing that out. Normally my go-to sniper rifle is the SR-SA1, but actually I'm finding the SR1 really handy. Now this is the mainstay of this build. This weapon is utterly insane. And you can silence it. I can't believe you can silence this thing, and it works really well. You can literally take out enemies just around the corner from each other. They won't hear a thing. So you need this thing kitted out pretty well. I use the standard buttstock, panoramic sight, which gives you the best handling, full auto trigger, which I think is the only option. Yep. The extended magazine, I've only got 10 at the moment. It is a little bit of a hindrance, that, but you can tear through the ammunition really quickly with a rate of fire on this thing. AFG on the underbarrel, again, that's just to maintain the handling. I could actually swap that for the foregrip. I don't really want to sacrifice any accuracy though, so I'm going to keep that as it is. Standard barrel, I don't want an adverse effect on the handling. And the suppressor. Without the suppressor, you'll see the difference here. You can go loud. It doesn't make an enormous difference, but yeah, run with the suppressor. And the trick to this gameplay style is really running in quickly, sniping out those that you can from range, not relying on your squad at all, running in with your shotgun and just going mental, just tearing through anyone you can see. Because it's silenced, you can tear through groups of 3 or 4 before they can even see you or have identified you. So it's a really handy, fun build to play. Just to give you an idea of the shots on this, the shotgun rate of fire, that's insane, and that does an insane amount of damage. Mostly it's a one-shot kill. Look at the skills. If you're just starting out in the game and you're looking where to put your skill points to adopt this gameplay style, you absolutely need hip fire spread. You don't need stable aim because that's just for sniping, and you should be able to take out 1 or 2 guys easily enough without having any points in the sniping abilities. Hip fire spread you absolutely need. That will enable you to run around corners and very quickly just open fire with your shotgun, tear through the enemies. There's none of this aiming down the sight. You can if you want to. I do sometimes, but the idea of this is to just run around and wreak havoc. Ammo capacity you definitely need because you'll be in and amongst it and running really quickly through the enemies, so you won't be having time to stop and pick up ammunition. I mean, I literally find that I'll tear through a group and then I've got to catch another enemy that's walking around the corner that might spot the dead body, so I'm just on the go all the time. It's a really fast-paced gameplay. Absolutely, without question, you need the advanced suppressor. The rest of this, all superfluous. I mean, you can put the points in here later in the game, but if you're looking for this rapid gameplay and tearing through the content, that's what you need. Hip fire spread, ammunition capacity and advanced suppressor. I would recommend, again, a couple of points in range, maybe 2 points in range on the drone and maybe 2 points in battery. possibly some points in mark area, but again, this build isn't heavily reliant upon drone and recon. This is about running and killing what you see in front of you. So take a couple of points in range and battery if you like, maybe 1 point in mark area just to make things a little bit easy for you, but the rest of it you don't need. In terms of items, again, there's very little in here that you'd need other than flashbangs. I would recommend maybe getting some flashbangs, because if you run into a big group, it will buy you some time. In terms of physicality, this is the tank build. This is my tank build for this game, so you need the lot. So you need all of the stamina. You need to be running around, sprinting through the bases all the time, killing enemies. You need the no pain, because if you do get downed and you get up and you're surrounded by mobs, that will give you, it'll buy you some time to start tearing through them if the alarms have gone off. Quiet running, yeah, I would recommend getting that, because you will be running through the bases quickly. Bullet resistance, you absolutely need all of that, and detection, you absolutely need all of those as well. I've got explosion resistance. If you're working towards this at a later level, I would recommend focusing on explosion resistance first. But yeah, so you need stamina, you need no pain, you need quiet running, bullet resistance, and detection would be handy as well. You don't do a lot of prone movement, so I would leave detection until later on in the game. Honestly, the gameplay style for this is you won't need it. You just run around and act like an absolute lunatic. Again, this build does not rely on your squad at all, so I wouldn't put any points in sync shot. If you're going to play this gameplay style, I wouldn't put any points in sync shot whatsoever. If you're not relying upon your AI squad mates, then don't bother. If you're going to be playing in a co-op game, then maybe consider it just for some coordination. But if you're playing in co-op and you're using this build, you'll tear through the enemies before your co-op teammates have had a chance to even blink. It's insane. Squad resilience may be handy to have, and maybe some bleed out time as well. But the primary skill set, where do you focus? Just to reiterate, hip fire spread, ammo capacity, advanced suppressor. In the drone, a couple of points in range, a couple of points in battery, maybe 1 point in mark area. In terms of the items, just flashbangs. That's all you really need at the outset. Now, I appreciate it's level 15, I think you can get flashbangs at, so you won't be able to get those early on in the game. But maybe take some frag grenades if you've got some spare points. Physicality, you want the works. You want no pain, stamina, quiet running, bullet resistance, detection, and some explosion resistance if you've got the points to spare. And that's it. Hopefully you can see from some of the footage that I've shown that this really is a fun way to play. This weapon is utterly insane, and when it's silenced, it's so... Oh, you can see down the barrel. Woo! It's just a monster of a weapon. Fully automatic fire on a shotgun, and at close range, it's just ridiculous. So it's a very quick one today. It's a great build. I would strongly recommend anyone who's really feeling maybe a little bit tired of the stealth gameplay and you want to try something different, give this a go. It is so much fun and really effective, and you can tear through the story missions. Even on extreme, you can tear through the missions really well. Where you will struggle is when you're looking at some missions that do require a sync shot, that the groups of enemies are too big for you to take on your own. But as you progress through the game, you can put some points in sync shot later on. So that's it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this. It's very short and sweet today. Thank you very much for watching, and as ever, if you like what you see, give it a like. If you've got any feedback at all, then please do put a comment below, because I'm really interested to hear what you think. And if you've not subscribed, please consider it. Thank you very much. Bye for now.